Hello, everybody, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, your executive producer here, and thanks for tuning in to watch or listen to whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to. In these trying times, we really do appreciate everyone that feels that we are worth their time, and we hope that we're able to give you something entertaining to while away the time as you spend it. We particularly want to thank those of you that feel like we're worth financially contributing to, particularly our $25 and up supporters on Patreon, who are Antitonic, Drevian Alexander, Cat Waterflame, Rowan Parker, and Samantha Bates. Yes, I read that off of a list. Thank you very much for supporting us. I know that in these uncertain times, finances are tough for everybody, so that you're willing to donate to us means a lot to all of us here, and we thank you. That being said, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Star Wars Twilight Nights. I'm John, your game master for the evening. Joining me today off screen is Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig. I am playing Crack Tulpa, the Quarren Sentinel Artisan, and he doesn't have hair.
And we'll eventually roll Destiny when Craig gets back to his computer. Also joining us is Jeremy.
Hello, my name is Jeremy. I am playing Ilyana, a Dathomirian mystic who does have hair. It's just usually hidden underneath a hood. Although sometimes not either. It depends. But it's always the way it's destined to be.
And your Destiny?
I got my customary dark side point.
Craig got us one dark
I should
side.
be logged into the game, huh?
You should be. Well, once Jeremy gets into Roll20, we'll get a Destiny roll from him as well. Also joining us is Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. Red does have hair. It's usually prominent, and it has been dyed at one point due to a dare. Red never knew that this happened because cannot see that. And I got one dark side.
All right.
Go. I
Off to a
also
great
got
start.
A dark side.
All right. Many much dark sides. And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Corsarath, the pure-blood Sith Makashi duelist whose hair has only ever really been dyed with blood. Let's roll another dark side here, because I just said
That is the most William statement I've
Hey!
ever heard
Two lights. I actually rolled two light side.
my life.
Yeah.
Look, my hair is that shade of red right now.
I'm just saying, Kursarath is on brand for you.
And
In the best way.
Did you think he wouldn't be?
And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Graztatha, the Wookiee Xi'an expert, whose hair has primarily probably been dyed on occasion by their sister as an experiment, possibly against Graz's will. Graz is also familiar enough to know that if you get blood in your hair, it turns brown, not red.
Except his hair is already black.
There are many questions here.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Avazia. She does have hair. It has also only been dyed with the blood of her enemies. And she is a pureblood Sith Geo Berserker. And dark side.
Oh yeah, Jack, roll Destiny. There you go.
Dark side, fuck you.
5 dark side, 2 light. And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mar, and I'm playing Marie's droid counselor, who also does not have hair. The end.
Anymore, anyways.
Yeah.
Have you ever dyed your chassis, though? Or painted?
Yes, that's painting, but yeah.
Yes.
You
I
can-
think so. Various
I think
strange colors.
I think Nerys died before they got in their chassis.
Thank you. That was good. That was good.
And now we just wait for a Destiny roll from Nerys.
Oh, I have to do that. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm real out of it today. This is gonna be
That's
great.
okay.
Dark side.
So with an in total of 2 light and 6 dark, is anybody either above 80 morality or below 20?
I'm real close, but I'm not there
Working
yet.
on it.
All right, good to know. Star Wars Twilight Nights, Episode 18, Return to the Cutter. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the year is 3643 BBY, or before the Battle of Yavin, 10 years after the Treaty of Coruscant was signed. The Horizon Relief Organization is an independent disaster relief organization that provides medical relief, reconstruction supplies, and manpower, and unarmed peacekeeping efforts throughout the galaxy, particularly in the events of the current galactic civil war between the Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic. They are headed by one Dr. Apit and officially operate out of the capital ship, the Aeon Cutter, to which the Shio is currently in hyperspace heading towards.
Okay.
You have, what did I say, 4 days? Yes, 4 days in hyperspace. Is anybody doing anything in those 4 days other than staring sullenly at the speed lines outside the ship?
I think I'm still in Bacta.
You are still in Bacta.
For 4 days?
Well, until his critical injuries heal.
Quite a while.
I'm fucked up real bad.
I've only made
That's
one
what
recovery
happens
roll
when you
so far,
can't-
so.
When you cannonball like 4 stories down in order to try and kill somebody too.
Actually, most of it happened from running a car into a bad guy.
I mean that's a thing as well.
Hey, it's true.
I also believe I'm in Bacta for it's fairly. I had 7 wounds and like.
So 14 hours.
Oh, is that just the 14 hours? It's
Yes.
7 wounds and that's right. Oh, and I've already cleared it all off, so I'm good.
Yeah.
And you did something after you got out that
That's right, I did.
Yeah, the first-
that Craig does not know about.
The first day has passed, I believe, so.
Yeah.
We're on the second day.
Mm,
Graz is honestly only coming out of their room for food.
Vazi is mainly going to stay in the room.
Corsorath will spend time with Avazia and maybe occasionally check on Graz if Graz will accept any visitors.
Graz is not locking their door. Anytime you come in or pass by and knock or open the door will open. Graz is just meditating.
Corsorath will occasionally just sort of keep an eye on Graz, just kind of
Corsorath
look
would,
out for his significant other and his Wookiee friend.
Neri, is you just soaking in that oil?
for a while, and then I think, I have a mask, and I'm trying to decide what to do with it.
Weld it to your face.
I've contemplated that. I don't think so.
Go the warlock route. Just install like a rotating face mask machine.
Oh goodness. See.
Full Doctor Who with it. It's an angry face and a happy face. And
Okay. Boy. I'm gonna go talk to Liana, I think.
Ilyana,
After she's done with the
Yeah.
Bacta.
Ilyana, as opposed to everybody who's staying in their damn room, you just go to a random room and she might be there. She's just randomly in all sorts of spots on the ship.
So
That is disconcerting.
Wherever the force takes them.
The three of you that have been moving around will have noticed that Red seems to be sleeping in the cockpit.
Okay. Would you like a room? There are available ones. We have space. You're muted, Aaron.
I appreciate the thought, but I'm perfectly or will hear, and think all that would do would be start an argument.
I feel like at some point, Red wakes up to a Dathomirian just sitting next to them, staring at them.
Ilyana, I have a question.
Huh? What? Who? Oh, hi. What?
Hello.
Hi.
I have a question. I still have this. I hold out the broken mask. And I am trying to decide what to do with it.
Okay. What's your question? That's not a question, that's a statement.
That is. What? What is my question?
Don't ask me. Says the voice of God.
I'm asking myself, damn it. What would you do with it? And why?
Interview question.
It's a weird question.
She thinks about it for a moment and then just holds out her hands.
For the... I hand it to you.
Take a look at it. One, just a second here.
Throws them out the airlock.
Yeah.
Please don't open the airlock while we're in hyperspace.
But you open this side, and you throw them into the airlock, and you close this side, then you
It's-
open the other side.
No, it's fine. You don't throw them in the airlock. You throw them in the incinerator.
Okay, fine.
That's what you do in hyperspace. But
Does our ship have an incinerator?
It has a burner. Star Wars ships have plumes of fire.
Okay. That seems like a bad idea, but who am I?
Star Wars ships are also
space
held together by
fantasy.
spit and duct tape.
I
so.
know.
And wishful thinking.
yep.
And wishful cord pulling.
I'm gonna. I'm okay. I am going to. Yeah, I'm going to. I mean, I'm going to do whatever anybody asks Ilyana. If there's a question about what she would do with something or
Uh-huh.
anything like that, and he's going to go into a meditative trance and look ahead into the future, trying to focus specifically on the mask to see what she would do with it.
Hey, Eliana, what do you want to get to eat tonight for dinner? No, God, don't ask her. Oh, God.
So while Jeremy is rolling his force die for that, I'm going to share what my brain just did to me so that it'll do it to all of you as well. I got an email from Fitbit, and it just like the title from Fitbit is just "Hurry, free overnight shipping ends tonight." But my brain looked at that and swapped the first two letters, so it said "Furry, free overnight shipping ends tonight." In my brain.
Nope.
All right. What are you spending those 2 points on?
So
Jeremy?
one has to be to activate.
Yep.
And the other one, I mean, I only need a day ahead because I'm assuming that whatever I do, I wouldn't be holding. I don't know, maybe, but we'll see. I'm gonna go specifically for. So I don't know if this will work, and it's up to you, obviously. But it says vague hints into your future. And it's specifically your future, I'm going to try to pick details out relating to the mask. Like, it is in my hands now, therefore it is essentially mine. Because that's how ownership works, right? So what is my future with this? And then what would I do with it?
All right. So you are using 4C.
Yep,
I'm just laying this all out. You're using 4C
with a day.
in order to spend for up to the next day.
Yep,
Or so you're using one just to activate it, which takes you up
which
to a day in
gives
your own
me a
future.
day.
And you're using one for strength to pick out specific details, hoping specifically for details related to the mask and
Yes.
you in the next day.
I feel like I
Cool.
know what the answer's about to be.
You get a very clear image of you not holding the mask.
And I look back at Nurse and say, if I had it, what would I do with it? If I had it, I would give it to you because you're supposed to be the person with it.
Got there.
Is this
Right.
all happening after Ileana
Yeah,
was
this is right in the cockpit, I assume. Unless Nerys would
Nerds would have
want
like backed up, like so we're not in the middle
Okay.
of it, like probably the doorway. But it's probably
Ileana, how long have you been standing there?
Oh, sitting here. I don't know what time is it.
too long.
You had just
I'd like
fallen
to
asleep.
cordially remind you that I am blind and cannot be held accountable if I stumble into you if you do that again.
Then don't fall asleep in public places.
The cock.
Touche. Fair enough. What is the mask?
It's Sith acolyte. Had it. I mean, the mask is a mask. It's
Well, it's two pieces of a mask at the moment because Neri's
yeah,
broke it.
it's still a mask.
Do you have
The
any
mask.
tactical use for it?
No, thank you. That was helpful. I will take it back and go
Wait.
away.
Wait till she leaves. I don't think that was an honest answer. I don't think that was helpful.
Yeah, I am well aware that I'm accidentally burning every bridge I try and step on. Thank you very much, Prophet.
No. You might have been helpful. Nerys always asks the wrong questions.
Is there any worth in potentially using your vast insight to understand that what Nerys is literally asking is not exactly what you need to answer in order to provide the best possible counsel?
I could, but then
Much work.
Nerys. Well, no. Then Nerys doesn't learn how to ask the right questions. They're just given the answer right there. Haven't you ever heard that? Give a man, etc., etc.
You are so Jedi right now, it hurts.
Yeah, there's definitely a physical biting the tongue on that. Okay, how would you feel if someone gave you that answer? I'm not going to tell you because you need to figure it out for yourself.
How would you? I can figure out how I would feel about that very easily because that's me. I would, if I were to give, I don't know, and she spins her vibroblade. If I were to give this to Nerys and say, "What would you do with this if you I would," and gave an answer that didn't relate to me, then I would realize that I asked the wrong question and I would figure out how to answer the right question.
Okay.
That
Fine.
would have been my fault.
Would maybe it be helpful to Nerys, who has come to you with vulnerability, seeking counseling, if In addition, you said something along the lines of, I don't think that's quite what you really mean. Are you looking for what you should do with it? Or could you rephrase that question for my pedantic as prophetess brain?
Thank you, first of all.
Welcome for whatever I did.
But is that how things work?
I don't know how things work on your ship. I know how I'd want to be treated. I know how I have been treated, and I'm mostly referring to my previous force training. And I know that sometimes things that everyone thinks are obvious, like what symbol is on that mask, are not actually observable to other people.
Huh.
So yes, I think that Neres was probably not just coming to you for a literal answer, was probably coming to you for help, and may not have intuited that you were saying, that's the wrong question, I can't help you with that question, or my answer to that question is unhelpful. Probably instead was frustrated and found your guidance unhelpful. My guess. I don't know. Droids are different sometimes. But Neres does not seem to be a particularly literal droid.
I can't talk about that. Thank you, and I walk out.
What about droids that understand metaphors is secret? Cool. Great. Good job, Bread. Stellar conversations.
I'm so excited to drive Red completely into the dark side.
Oh, yeah, it's the dark side and also the like crotchety social anxiety side.
Craig, go ahead and give us another resilience check to see if you can recover from a critical injury.
You got it.
Oh, don't worry. Red wants to literally burn the Republic alive. The dark side is beckoning very strongly.
Come on, man. Okay.
Nice.
Hey.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
You recover from that critical injury.
So that's my first one. Okay, great.
All
Chilling
right.
in a back to tank.
Anybody else?
Roz will eventually come out of their room very briefly in order to upload approximately 3 files to wherever Crack has left his data pad, and then goes right back in until the Shio docks with the cutter.
Yep. What you doing, Neres?
Oh, besides that, probably not much. Organizing the medical bay because we got all those new supplies, so basically arranging things the way they like them. Yeah. And if anyone seems up for it, sparring practice.
Does anybody seem up for it?
Is there an invitation made, or is there just a going to the place where people spar?
Probably more going to the place where people spar. And if anyone's there, then hey.
Red would be interested, but does not know where that place is and would not assume.
Oh, I will give you a tour. You need a tour. This is. I will point out all of the things.
Cool.
Red gets a tour.
Yeah.
After Nereus
I
does
still
question mark,
don't
question mark,
think
question mark
would
with the mask.
probably self-invite to the training area. Z would probably
Okay.
self-invite to the training area.
And this is the training area. Well, it is a hold. But it
This
is
is a
where
hangar
we
bay.
train. It is a hangar bay, yeah.
It is a currently modified, by the way, as a reminder, currently
Oh, that's
modified hangar bay for room for the rescued individuals
Ah.
that are on the ship.
Never mind. We cannot train here right now. There are people around.
It is
We do not.
currently housing around 30 to 40 people.
But the Aeon Cutter has training yards with droids that can help train groups or individuals. It has a lot of space.
If this is classified or something, you don't need to tell me, but I'm assuming you have some combat capabilities?
Yes. I
A
have
lot of medic droids being sent quite so far to the front lines.
What was that?
Yeah, you don't see so many medic droids being sent quite so far to the front line.
No, I was no.
Mm.
I have a what is it? I can't remember the name of gear things. Hang on. Where is it? Not there. I have a blaster in my arm, and then other one is modified to hold a lightsaber. Both training and actual. Which we all made ours on a trip together very recently.
Red processes droid making lightsaber.
Yeah, there's definitely a long sort of pause. Guess they lied about that too. Not fucking special. Never mind. And sorry, you wouldn't know. And sort of starts walking out of the room. That definitely took the wrong takeaway from that. Wrong jump to conclusion.
I mean, reasonable. Okay. We move into our third day. Other than Crack, who is currently resting in... So, we got Crack still resting in Bacta. Graz still in their room. Avasia still in their room. Horserath roaming the halls. Ilyana roaming the halls. Red, cockpit, Nereus.
Well, Korsrath specifically roaming between two specific rooms.
Between two specific points through the halls.
Yeah.
Korserath manifesting between two rooms.
I am in two places at once.
We'll get to that. So at the end of the third day, Crack, you will have recovered from your other critical injury.
Ooh.
Neri's doing anything on the next day? The third day?
Going to keep trying to talk to Red. I have a project.
Ah, yes, the project. Red
That
Dead
is
Redemption.
very easy to find, as Z does not have a room.
Damn it. Did you really go there?
I did, because it was a really wide open door.
It was just
I missed
less
that
a door and more just a warehouse.
Yeah, I also missed this. I think it's a wrestling reference.
No. William said, yes, a project. Red Dead Redemption.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
that's good. That's good. I like it.
No, you should feel bad about
No,
that.
I feel
don't.
good.
I don't remotely feel bad about it.
I'm easily amused.
We know.
Tomorrow we should be reaching the cutter.
Yep. Far side of the planet. Hit to avoid scout ships, and we're looking for some larger vessel, I assume.
Yes. It will, and I'll give like my basic understanding of what the scans that Red is doing would show that it would look like that.
Understood. Something you need?
No. I am excited to get back.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what you've got cooking there.
It is. I do not know where you came from, really. I have never been to a place like that. I do not want to go to a place like that, but this, where we are going, is someplace where if you want to, you can learn new ways to use your powers or not use them. There are people who belong to the order who do not use the Force, who simply assist. There are knights, which is what our group is made of. There are teachers there. There are doctors. There are ways to get to other places if you wish to leave and move on to, I don't know what you want to do. But
Is this
it
a hint?
is, I think, a good place.
Because I can take a hint, but I would prefer if you just came out and say it. If it's what you're trying to say.
I would like you to meet our teachers and hear what they have to say. They are better than I am at explaining things.
Okay. Let me say it this way. Whether or not you guys want to kick me off will not bias me in listening to your cult's pitch. It seems like a very decent cult with very respectable pseudo-neutral values and a very good fake relief organization attached to it. I don't mean any disrespect to your cult, and I will listen to this pitch sermon.
It's a very real relief
It
organization.
is okay.
Shut up, voice of the universe. I'm being salty.
The pitch is that we are a group that seeks to walk the line dividing light and dark and pulling from both when and where we need to keep things balanced.
Okay.
It's near you.
I don't know what you want me to say. I apologize that I haven't ticked off whatever box it is, but I've agreed to listen. I've said it sounds good.
That is enough. I just was not sure if I had explained things well, and I wanted to make sure I did.
Mission accomplished. Thank you.
You are welcome. I will leave you now. Goodbye. I walk out.
Red mentally ticks one more in the failed conversations column.
Hey, I thought Darius thinks that was pretty good. I don't know.
I honestly think that this is roughly a time when Corserath would have been coming up to check up on things.
Yeah, fair
You
enough.
come up
And,
as
like-
as Nereus is walking away.
As like catching the tail end of that.
Hello, Corserath.
Hello, Nereus. Looking over at Red as Nereus heads back down. You are good at this.
Yes, I'm stellar at communication, as I am sure all of your allies are, given that none of you have tried to comfort the grieving one who just lost their twin, as far as I can tell. And I can see when doors open.
Graz is unique and will require their own time. I make myself available to Graz in case they wish to speak, but I will not force the issue. As you may have learned, forcing things with a Wookiee is a fast way to lose a limb.
Yeah. I mean, kudos to you in your effort at limb preservation. It's very important. But your friend is grieving, and you are the only one who has made anything resembling an effort to reach out. Unless I'm wrong.
I'm not the only one, but everyone on this ship has their own degree of problems. And he's not the only one who is grieving.
Okay, very fair. I'm certainly not the one going out and offering emotional counseling, nor am I saying that any of you are obligated to. Just observing the dynamic. Anyway, did you need something?
No, I was simply coming up to see how you were doing.
I'm doing fine. I don't think I've done a great job endearing myself to you, but I'm still alive, which evidences that my usefulness piloting is at least more useful than I am annoying.
To me, at least.
Fair enough. Though, with all due respect, I don't think Ilyana would have respected your dibs if she'd felt the need to kill me.
Ilyana doesn't do anything because she wants to. She does everything because that's what she has foreseen must be done.
Oh, God. She really, really reminds me of the Jedi. It's kind of crazy that she doesn't.
Don't say that to her face if you don't want to start a fight.
Learned that the hard way. Look, I don't know how much experience you have with the Jedi, but it's true. They're painfully prophetic, painfully deliberative. Everything is a lesson.
My recommendation, if you're looking for endearing yourself to the crew, would be to listen a bit to gather disposition before injecting your comparison.
Fair. I'm not super people. It's been a while, and
I can gather. You are blunt. which will earn you favors in some situations, but on a ship full of the grieving and the broken, bluntness is not always the best approach.
Maybe you're right.
For instance, bluntness with the Wookiee will get you limbs ripped off, as I mentioned.
But fair enough. Are you absolutely positive that no additional support is wanted or needed simply because on a species and personal level, Graz Tatha is of a temperament to rip off limbs if things are frustrating and unwelcome?
I honestly can't answer that one with any degree of certainty. Graz is very stoic, I'll use the term. It's difficult to tell at times precisely what they need because they're not in the habit of sharing.
I don't think I'm the right person to do it, but I might put forth the recommendation that one of you try anything, something. I don't know. Actually, do you know what Graz's favorite food is? I will try and cook something.
Do I know what Graz's favorite food is? This is a question. We've been living together for a while.
Whenever you look at the things Zook makes, it seems to be mostly meat and fruit.
There is a wide variety of meats and fruits, and I don't know what's actually stocked on this ship.
Okay. I will try that.
Bacta is what's stocked on this ship.
Okay.
The answer is
You know
very
what?
clear. Graz eats food.
I'm going to try and make something nice. And maybe one of you will get up the compassion to go talk to your grieving friend and take some comfort food.
See, that's the bluntness I'm talking about. That will not do well in conversation with anyone who isn't me.
This is why I'm telling you to go find someone to do it and not going to banging on your, I'm sure, lovely wife's door and getting my head chopped off for my trouble.
You are good at this.
Being snarky with the Jedi is an art form.
Just remember, you're not among Jedi anymore.
No, which means that instead of lectures, I have to deal with swords.
They're not very restrained around here.
Act like there aren't lectures.
Appreciated.
Even Saris lectures. She just lectures very quickly.
Yeah, as Red sort of turns to go to the kitchen, and I presume there are things that can be made into.
You get to the kitchen, and you swiftly realize that the crew that has occupied this ship for quite a while has basically bought nothing but ration sticks and packs. And it is mostly freeze-dried blocks of nutrition that you find.
That tracks. That so tracks.
100% legit.
Yep.
Oh my. Okay.
Meanwhile, Corserath just
spend a light side point for something that's unlikely but convenient to scrounge up the remainders of the fresh and reasonable food that they have stored away in corners.
Freeze-dried raspberries.
Into
banana.
something.
Sure. Spend a light side point.
Yeah, because dried raspberries are better than I
Nutrient
don't
block.
know what's the milk stuff that's like nutrition paste that people eat.
Soylent. I was gonna say
Soylent.
you open the locker that's marked crack and it's just Soylent.
It's a block of Soylent.
Soylent Green.
Like,
Soylent Green.
yeah. John, can I do the?
Yeah, flip a light side.
Yeah. Cool.
I like
Meanwhile,
the idea
just
that there's
Crack only ever eats freeze-dried space kelp.
So
I
there
like the
isn't
idea.
necessarily a role for this, and I definitely didn't take any points in this, but I do imagine headcanon-wise that Red is a decent cook.
Sure, you don't have to make a roll for it. You just have to flip the light side point so you can find
yeah,
materials.
I'm looking for the button because I'm
So yeah, you initially you are initially presented with just this like, wall of fast packed, fast dried insta food that is like it's the generic universal standard food. Like, capital F, capital O, capital D. There is no texture, there is no flavor, there is nothing. It is base nutrition, base nutrients. After scrounging for a little bit, you find that somebody sort of secreted away in the stores some amount of fresh vegetation and meat. It seems like the meat was being bled for a purpose that might not have been food, but it will qualify as food.
fair enough. I can determine that this meat is not anything that should not be eaten
No, it does not seem. It does not appear to be poisonous, and you can
or
make.
sentient.
It does not appear to be sentient, but things are. It's harder to tell if things are sentient in the Star Wars universe.
I'm just gonna trust that my force point is not going to fuck me
No.
because you're an asshole.
No. You find food that is it's already dead, even if it was sentient.
Not the point, and you know it.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, moving on from that very swiftly.
You find like the Star Wars equivalent of like a game hen, basically.
Yeah. And freeze-dried raspberries to make into, I don't know.
I guess that would be a porgy, or what do they call it? The
Porg.
porg? Yeah, that'd be a porg, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Meat and jam or whatever.
Yeah, you make a very, very basic, but not rations plate of food.
Mentally in my head, like, going to at least get some fucking seasoning if they ever pay me.
Meanwhile,
pouring
go
a ramen flavor packet on rations.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Korsrath has sort of posted himself up outside. I'm probably opened Graz's door, and assuming Graz is just meditating there, is just kind of leaning in the doorway, waiting for Graz to either react to the presence of someone else or not.
How long do you wait?
Until Graz moves.
Graz does not have the standard Jedi, sit down, lotus position, completely motionless meditation technique. Graz tends to be at least a little more active in that. And they're sitting on their bunk, and if you watch them for a little while, there's a rhythmic movement, fairly subtle. They're not like going through katas. They're remaining seated, but there are what initially at least would appear to be the odd shift or fidget. If you watch it over a longer period of time, it's a rhythmic motion repeated over and over and over and over again. But they don't acknowledge your presence or say anything.
Does it help at all?
The head just barely turns slightly. And there's just a heavy exhale, but no response.
The meditation, does it help at all?
I'm going to say roll vigilance.
Oh dear.
Okay. Do you want to apply a difficulty to that?
Be standard difficulty too.
For those not familiar with Star Wars systems, vigilance is what you roll for initiative if it's unexpected.
It's also what you roll to be vigilant.
Yes, that is true.
I have advantages and nothing else.
2 failures, 2 advantages.
Is there any particular difficulty, John, for making a lightsaber attack against a bulkhead that's, say, 8 inches to the side of somebody's head?
2.
Okay. Do.
Of course,
What a weird rhetorical question.
Don't despair that one.
3 successes, 2 advantages, and a triumph. So yeah, the great saber is just to the hilt into the wall and then deactivated.
Corserath does not move from the position he was leaning on the wall in, with 3 successes and 3 advantages on his cool roll.
Yep. And Grazel just sort of slowly return the lightsaber to where it hangs on their utility belt there. It is currently what I have.
You also have friends who are also in grief. Pain shared is lessened.
This pain is not one that I am ready to share. Perhaps in the future. But as it stands, I must first learn from my pain before I can share it with those who have also felt it.
I will tell you this much from someone with an intimate familiarity with pain, the physical and the emotional, and the spiritual. The only thing you learn from pain is revenge and the desire to inflict more of it.
Like a half a dozen Sith Lords that definitely agree with you. I learned how to shoot lightning, motherfucker.
I mean, there's
The
an equal
desire to inflict more of it covers lightning. Sorry.
there's an equal number of normal people who say "Hey, that's not true, because when you put your hand on the stove, and I continue that analogy,
Right.
pain teaches you shit.
When you dwell on it, all you find is that it wants to spread.
We will see.
Pain is something that should be reacted to and not gathered. As you gather it, it becomes more powerful and it gains its own grip on you. I don't want to see you walk the path where I walked long ago. Not even that long, honestly. I think you're stronger than I ever was.
That also we will see. And Graz goes and sits back down.
I'm always here if you need a sparring partner. I found the best way to deal with pain is to excise it. One way or another. He turns and heads back to Avazia's room.
At some point, there will be a ping if you did not already bring the food over.
Course, Wrath, you get notified that there is food to bring to Graz.
I grab food. I set it. Is there a table anywhere in Graz's room?
Oh yeah, there's a side table.
Yeah, so he walks into Graz's room and
Past
sets
the
food
slash
on
in the
table.
wall.
He like wordlessly after that conversation just sets food on table and heads back to Avazia's room.
At the end of this day, Crack recovers enough to get out of the back to tank.
Hooray!
And very if wanders any further away from the med bay than just back to engineering, finds there's a new hole on the interior hull of the ship.
Also, there was a note on your back to tank when you got out of it.
I think I probably need to deal with first.
Oh, what was the note?
Well, Crack gets out. Well, I guess wakes up because it's on the outside of the note. The tank
that's
facing
right.
in, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is facing
Okay.
inward.
I remember. This now.
So Crack wakes up when I have to assume the mechanism kind of pings to alert and
You have been
automate
sufficiently
a wake
healed.
up or something.
Yeah.
As your hot pocket is ready.
Your goo
So
is
Crack wakes up and is
Fun.
sort of floating there, coming back to himself, and then looks at the thing. Ow. And then will find his way out of the back to tank. I kind of look around to confirm that his overalls are indeed not in the room. And then we'll just kind of stroll out into the hallway. Let's see. So I've been in the med bay, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would there still be the smell of burning?
No, this would have happened a while before you got out, so the burning
Okay.
smell would not be there.
I'll make a, what is it in this system? Notice? Just
Perception.
to see if I pick perception. Okay. It needs to be called the same thing in every system. I'm going to start a petition.
Problem is it's got 4 different rolls you can make. Usually it's vigilance, but
Depends on what you're trying to perceive.
Just to see, I want to see if Crack notices the saber burn.
It would entirely based on where you go next, whether or not you notice it, because you wouldn't just notice it stepping out of the med bay, because the hole would be over here by the door, which is blocked from view anywhere other than in front of the door.
Okay, yeah. I don't think there's any way he'd be able to see it then, because he's going to come out of that door and turn right, head down past the airlocks, go through the lounge. If anyone is in the lounge, they see a naked Quarren sort of strolling along.
You have a diaper.
No, I would leave that with the
diaper left
with
in the
back
med
to
bay.
tank.
Excellent.
I mean, I have to imagine there's not a tremendous amount on display for an aquatic species to
Pretty sure
pantomime.
Quarren have cloacas.
I was going to say to pantomime paraphrase Shape of Water.
Yeah.
And I would assume everything is pretty well tucked away. Maybe it's in the back of the head, given the whole squid physiology. I don't know. Anyway, that's a discussion I hope we don't have to figure out.
It's not in
I
the
mean,
back
you're
of the
the one
head
who took
because
us down that fucking road.
it's not in the back of the head because they don't all wear helmets.
Well,
All right, I'm in the lounge. I look up from a book. Crack, what are you?
It's just a Ken doll with a Cthulhu face right now.
Crack,
I have recovered.
I can see that. Why are
And
you
a few
wandering
other
around
things.
without clothes?
Why don't you have clothes on?
I do not. But you usually wear clothes.
Oh, they give me pockets to carry things. Someone
Yes.
removed mine. I assume for cleaning.
Right. Are you unable to locate them?
I have not looked. I was heading to the engineering room.
Right. Carry on.
What do you have there? Crack
A
will walk
book.
over unconcerned.
A book.
What sort of book?
A book on
First of all, I love the image of a droid reading a book. It's just, it's a great
yes.
visual. It's a great visual right there.
A biography of someone from a while ago, probably like actually no, it's a history of
The Mandalorian
what's
Wars.
the planet? What's
Oh.
the Chiss
Oh.
of
A History of the Chiss Ascendancy?
yes.
Oh, that's a really short book.
Yeah.
Mostly because the Chiss
Some
Ascendancy
light
don't
reading.
the Chiss Ascendancy don't allow anybody into or out of it alive. So whoever
So
this
what you're
was
saying
has
is that
balls.
It might be a long book, but a lot of it is fictional speculation.
Yes.
Right, it's all theoretical and speculative.
I like to imagine it's from somebody who did it's from some spy that worked a lot around the Chiss Ascendancy and realized that no historian will ever get any of the information I'm able to get, and so used their espionage abilities to steal history from the Chiss Ascendancy.
Yeah.
We're going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Yes.
It is very
Okay,
amusing.
Fuck you,
No.
sir.
But
Do
Like-
not.
historical preservation via espionage is a real historical thing, and it's fascinating.
Legit. Just, national treasure.
Was a hilarious movie, but
Oh,
yes.
it's amazing. I will fight for that movie.
Anyways. But yes,
Are there-
this book, it's not a very long book, but it is very detailed.
Are there any technological innovations that the Ascendancy is known for?
Mostly militarily. They don't do a lot of external trade with the rest of the galaxy, so it's hard to say what sort of technological innovations they might have come up with, but if they had, you wouldn't know about it, because the only thing if you're not a Chiss, the only thing you ever get out of the Chiss Ascendancy is enemy warships or enemy fighters.
If you come across anything in there about whether the Ascendancy developed its own hyperdrives, or whether that was completely imported technology, I'd be very interested.
They're also pretty good at making shampoo that doesn't take the blue out of one's hair.
As established in this week's introduction, not a subject that would be of interest to Crack. Is Nari still holding the mask?
Not like out. You don't know
Okay.
where it is.
It's in a
Okay.
chest cavity.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen the Crabots anywhere?
Yes, they were. I'll give the general direction of where I last saw them. I don't know.
In the vents.
They're up in the vents somewhere.
Ah, very good.
You hear the sound of scurrying.
I will leave this room and go on into engineering.
All right. Your clothes are not in engineering.
I mean, I assume I have a spare set of overalls.
Probably in your room.
Okay, I don't know. I feel like things
Uh,
catch on fire and melt more in engineering than they do in my room.
I'm fair. I was thinking, how many like clothes racks are there in engineering though?
Right by the eye wash station, there's an extra pair of overalls.
That is
There
yes.
you go. There you go. You have an
Um,
extra pair of safety overalls right next to the eye wash station.
um,
The eye
And
wash
we'll-
station with like 15 different attachments for the various different,
for different eyes.
configurations of eyes.
the
Yes.
Athorian ones that go like.
Yeah.
Please just tell me that they are all stocked. That's all I need, really.
It's just it's like there's like the eye wash station is just it's a flat panel with a button that like brings up a menu where you can
Like one of
scroll
those soda
through.
machines.
Yeah, like and you select your species and then the appropriate style eye wash station pops out.
I want to point out there are plenty of eye wash stations that are just one geyser.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then you can move your face according
but for
to
different
Yeah.
different species you need different solutions because not all species are have alkaline like eye solutions. So like,
Saline. Yep.
or saline.
Saline.
The like
I hope there's some that don't have alkaline because
yes.
I
But-
certainly don't.
Some of them also don't have alkaline. Sometimes.
like what might be safe for humans might not be safe for Ithorians or others.
there.
So
I'm going to grab my tool belt, which definitely I think we established last time he would have left in here, not in the med bay.
I don't know why I thought alkaline. What am I thinking about the human body of related to alkaline?
Batteries use alkaline occasionally.
Yeah. I don't know why.
This is where John outs himself as a replicant.
Yeah. I
Science
too
words
take
sound like science words, and biology was a long time ago.
I
Your
do
blood's slightly alkaline.
I do take oil baths. Why
facts.
do you ask?
He's one of the hosts.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything to me.
So I'll grab some things and then tap on the vents and see if I can get all four of the crabots.
Vent pops open and three of them climb out, one of them falls out.
Okay. I'm gonna lay out the two sabers and the guard saber, the wrist guard saber,
Mhm.
and have the crabots just start sort of, without taking them apart, just start diagramming them.
Yep. They do so.
And then as they are doing that, I'm gonna grab my my belt and walk back out through the lounge, now wearing pants, and back up the hallway towards Graz's room. Oh, and I guess while I'm in there, I'll check my data pad and I would see what Graz has updated
Yes.
by this point. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why he would go to Graz's room. So he's
you-
headed to
yeah.
Graz's room.
So the files are just the very basic minimum of what Graz determined Kitty had discussed with Crack as far as development goes. In terms of the project, there's nothing in there about the Sith runes or anything like that in what Graz transmitted.
Yeah. So he will go up. Is Graz's door open or closed, or just can it still open and close?
No,
With
it can still open and close. There's just a hole in the side of the, like it's right to the side
just
of
about
it.
yay big around.
Graz will go
Roughly
up
eye level, actually, if you want to just,
That's probably what happens. Graz Crack walks up, and then we'll just peer through. Hello,
Right.
Graz.
No response. Graz is just seated on the bunk.
Graz, can I talk to you?
Second lightsaber hole.
Graz, are you asleep? Okay, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna open the door.
It
Okay.
opens.
Girls, I need to give you two things. Thanks for sharing the things from Kitty's journal. I'll work on on the project, and I'll keep you informed if you want to be. Here, this is the first thing. And Crack will reach out to hug Graz.
There's no obstruction.
It's done.
That's ominous.
It's done in like in sort of a. You can almost hear. Okay, this arm goes here, and then that one, and then compress, then hold 1, 2, release. And Crack stands up and says, Avasa and Ilyana gave me one of those. And it's why I have to give you the second thing I have, because I had spent time thinking that Kitty was the only one who'd understood me, and that might be right, but she wasn't my only family, and she's not yours. And he stops, and then he reaches into the belt, and he pulls out a little pouch, and he said, "These are metal ashes I took from Kitty's pyre. I was going to try to use them to bring Kitty back to life, like Nariz. But..." And
very low growl.
Goran, abort mission, abort mission.
Right. And Craig hears that and says, "Right, that's why I wasn't going to tell you. But now I think maybe the best thing we can do is look out for each other. And I don't know if you want to keep them or get rid of them, but I feel like you should have them, and you should know that I had them." Is Graz still growling?
No, it was fairly brief.
Okay.
It's the dog growling because you're getting too close to their food. Growls like, it's like the warning, stop.
Crack will wait a couple seconds if there's no response. Okay, those go there, and we'll put them down on the. I get Graz is on their bunk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we'll just put them down next to them, and say. So I guess that's everything. If you need anything fixed, I'll be in the engineering bay. Okay, goodbye. And we'll turn around and leave. And we'll walk back to engineering. Does he pass anybody on the way?
Ilyana walks by and just rolls her eyes for no apparent reason.
Oh,
no apparent reason.
The eye wash center is in. Oh, you'll find it. And actually, probably we'll stop into wherever we have the galley because he's been in back
in the lounge,
for 72 hours. Yeah, on the way back,
hungry. We'll hungry.
Yeah, we'll load up on whatever food paste he commonly consumes.
I mean, we said Soylent, so
yeah, whatever.
It's like a dried brick of kelp.
Yeah,
it's just
kelp jerky.
I mean,
kelp and fish paste.
The Star Wars equivalent of Soylent is people, because Soylent is people.
Not Soylent Green.
I used to be able to get caviar in a tube, which is an interesting experience. So I imagine that.
If you recall,
the Gogurt. What Rogurt?
If you recall, the little like ration pack that Luke had on Dagobah, it's basically just like a dried like power bar
of people
but it's made of nutrition. So.
I'm gonna have to jump off because I have to go start a company to do like active packs of caviar called Rogurt. I'm sorry, I'll be back.
And we never heard from Craig again.
He's off making glam, bro.
It's got to be one each campaign.
I've got a great place for you to source your row. It's a little bay up in Maine, I think. It's called Innsmouth.
Yeah, there you go. Like on the outside of the tin, squamously
Massachusetts,
delicious.
not Maine. Remember,
is it
Maine,
Massachusetts? Yeah.
Maine is where all the Stephen King fuckery goes down. Massachusetts is where all the
Massachusetts is weird.
Lovecraft fuckery goes down.
Got it.
Instead of that Innsmouth look, it's that Innsmouth taste.
Yeah.
And Connecticut is where all the McMahon fuckery goes down.
Yes.
That's how you separate your northeast states.
And then for whatever time we have left, Crack will probably spend his time.
So vascular.
If I can make mechanics checks to actually come back and now start kind of taking apart and categorizing the three new sabers that we have.
Sure. Kind of give me a mechanics check, difficulty 2.
Sure. I'm going to use manipulation.
Yep. And you also using your Jedi toolkit? I think gives you like an advantage or a boost die, or one of the two.
Yes, I think it gives it. I think it's an automatic advantage.
I think
Lightsaber maintenance kit.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. And I'll take it. Can I take a boost from the Crabots as well?
Yeah. They're giving you
Difficulty 2.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not going to flip that. I'll just go with the 2 successes and the and the 2 advantage.
So you
three advantage. I'm sorry.
As you're sort of just going over these and sort of assembling them, you determine that the 2 regular lightsabers that you're holding, the 2 apprentice lightsabers, seem to they are basically uniform. It seems that these lightsabers are, from what you can actually tell as you're taking them apart, because they had like the same seams and the same things. These were all made like mass produced. These ones were. As opposed to the way Jedi and you guys do, where everybody creates their own individuals. These were just stamped out by a machine somewhere.
Okay.
And then like had the crystal attuned and fed it in afterwards, but the hilt itself was mass produced. The bracer is a much more unique and was some thing that was probably made by the person who was wielding it. As you're taking it apart and looking at it, it's basically just a Shoto lightsaber that has been embedded into a bracer in such a way that you can't really see the hilt, and it looks like it's activated. Looking at it, it's either activated through the Force or through a specific muscle flex. Like a specific way the wielder would flex their forearm to activate it. It's hard to tell without having the person who made it there wearing it.
I don't remember as a player. Did Corsorath express in character that he was interested in that, or was he just asking about it? Okay, all right.
Yeah, it was in character.
All right.
He actually said that before the fight was over.
Yes.
What? But Crack wasn't there for that part.
He
Crack was still up in the ship then.
He also said it to Crack after Crack took it into the ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
At the same time that Ilyana was like, no, trophy.
Yeah.
Won.
Yeah. So and the crystals are synthetic.
No, they're not
genuine?
synthetic. They're genuine Ilum crystals.
Okay. They are all red.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the other 2 are standard hilts. And this one is just the stats for a Shoto.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think
it's the stats for Shoto, but all the excess hard points have been taken up by the bracer attachment. Basically, there are no excess. Hard points
So
on
there are no additional hard points on it.
Correct. Because they've been taken up by the bracer.
Could I attempt to change that if I take it apart and use the parts to effectively remake a new Shoto saber?
Probably not. The thing that's taking up the hard points is the fact that it's basically invisible until it's turned on. Like when this is being worn, you cannot tell it's a lightsaber unless you have some heavy duty like scanning equipment.
Sure. And no, I just mechanically, I was asking if
Yeah.
I try to remake it and get a really good roll
You
like
would-
I did when I was making mine, could I add in a hard point?
You could add a hard point if you got a really good roll.
Okay.
But like you wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't be this device anymore. You'd be making a new lightsaber.
All right. Okay. I think then he sort of concentrates on the other two and sort of picking them apart, because if you remember, his is designed to be as modular as possible, and if
Yeah.
there's anything in those machine produced sabers that is
They're
better than
very
what he has,
basic.
and this is not a mechanical question. I know stat wise it won't be a change. He's just going through and literally, like, even down to the
Yeah.
bolts and the fixtures. If there's anything that is mechanically superior to what he has, he's going to swap them out.
Yeah, so you're just taking apart the other two and utilizing the pieces.
Yep, and I will keep the rest, because I would like eventually to make them into a new saber or two.
Yeah.
But okay, all right, that probably takes up the rest, because we only have one more day, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that would be the
Yeah.
rest of his time unless anybody comes in.
All right. Well, if there's nothing anybody else is doing at the moment,
Nope.
This is where we'll take our break. We're back in just a few minutes. If you're watching on Twitch, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. And we're back. Okay, so the third day comes to a close. The fourth day. A little while after the fourth day begins, you're scheduled to drop out of hyperspace. As you do, immediately proximity alarms begin going off in the cockpit and throughout the ship. Really, the proximity you're about to run into things alarm.
There's not an asteroid field supposed to be here.
Can we quickly establish who's in the cockpit? Because I think we would know when we were about to drop out.
Yeah.
We'd have a chance to
So-
go
Yeah.
to appropriate places.
Red's probably in the pilot seat.
Hmm.
Who's in the co-pilot seat?
May I?
Yeah. Crack will be at the comms station then,
Cool.
unless anybody else wants
Right.
it.
And anybody want to be at a gunnery
Wrath will
station?
probably also be near the comm station.
All right, so pilot, give me a piloting
Gun is
space.
just chilling in the gun in one of the gun spots. Not in intending to use it. Just that's where she was.
Sorry, I
Uh,
missed what check?
Pilot, give me a space piloting check difficulty 2.
Is there a separate comm station and like scanner station, or are those the same station?
That'd be like the same station.
Okay, all right.
Can
So
I
Crack and Coursera chilling out together.
assist? Oh, okay, you're fine.
Oh,
Never mind.
sorry.
You can, but there are 4 successes, so you don't need to.
Yeah, it's fair. I don't want to.
So you, as soon as hyperdrive ends and you get control over the ship again, you jockey around what appears to be a field of debris. And as you come around and come out, you realize you have come out on the day side of the planet that you're supposed to circle around, in the middle of what looks to have been a battlefield. There is vast swaths of shipwreckage all around.
Scans for alert signals or anything indicating life. Pods.
Give me a
What?
computers check difficulty 2.
Yes.
What
I'm
happened?
gonna start trying to circle us around towards the back side where we actually need to be.
Yep.
Seems like we dropped out in the wrong part of the area.
Well, you dropped out. You dropped out in the expected part because you knew you'd have to circle around.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying
You
to.
hear it from the guns area. Oh, that makes sense.
2 success for advantage.
There is some amount of signal for like life pods that have signals for pickup. You also via the sensors you get there are a series of smaller vessels that have codes going out indicating peacekeeping forces, specifically the codes for the Horizon Relief Organization.
Okay.
That are currently navigating through the battlefield, rescuing life pods.
Is there anything right close to us?
No, nothing immediately next to you.
Okay. Still, Crack will say aloud, "We've got survivors, and it looks like rescue ships on the way."
It's lovely.
That
Our
is
vessel is not equipped for a rescue operation, and we have a lot of survivors to get somewhere safe.
Yes.
Anyone who
I don't-
wants
Fuck
to,
me, I guess.
anyone who wants to can make a warfare roll, difficulty 2.
Alright, what roll?
Sure.
Warfare.
Nope. Nothing.
Warfare.
Hey,
I have a success.
3 successes a threat.
Is anybody else making that roll? Jeremy, you just rolled
Craig
2
is not.
difficulty. You didn't actually make a.
What the fuck? That's not the button that I thought I pushed. Thanks.
I mean, you
As
failed
it
harder.
turns out, I roll worse when I have a chance for success than when I only roll failure dice.
You rolled 3 failures and 3 advantage. Those are the only things you rolled on the respective dice. All right. Is anybody else making that roll? No? Okay. So looking around at what you've got, Neres, Corsoreth, and Avasia, you're able to determine this looks like it was a skirmish between Imperial and Republic forces. Neres, looking around, you see definitive markings of Mandalorian ships, but no carcasses of Mandalorian ships. It seems like this was a full defeat on the Republic side.
Yep.
And a hard defeat, too.
That makes sense.
All right.
Most of what you're flying through right now are the remnants of a Republic fleet.
Is that strange for this area? Because I don't know.
This is looking at the nav computer. You are in a unpopulated sector. There are none of the planets around this star have any capacity to support life. So this is exactly the kind of place where you would instigate a skirmish.
Okay.
Because if you succeed and your enemy launch escape pods, they're basically stuck here for you to pick them off if you want, because they can't go anywhere. There's no habitable planets. And it's also in the middle of what looks to be a junction between trade routes, so it's not going to interfere with any major hyperspace lanes. You're not certain. You wouldn't be able to tell what caused it, but it's perfectly reasonable for there to have been a skirmish here.
Okay. All right. And those are fairly regular.
Not
even
really,
with the-
because
Okay.
there is currently a ceasefire, so skirmishes are not regular. Typically, in order to avoid launching into all-out warfare, one side has to disavow the other, which is probably why you're seeing Mandalorians. Why you're seeing Mandalorians rather than these Imperial forces, because Mandalorians are technically a neutral party as far as the Galactic War is concerned.
Okay. Are they in this instance? Were they on the Imperial side then? I
probably.
do not know.
Very probably.
Okay. Right.
Yes, you guys dropped out of hyperspace in the aftermath of a war, of a fight that Ilyana foresaw.
Yes.
Either the Mandalorians were on the Imperial side, or somebody in Republic accounting has let those paychecks build up for way too long.
There's over the comms. Is this a bad time to point out that this probably leads right into we might get caught between Sith and Jedi at some point.
No, we should go forward with caution.
It seems the relief organization already has forces here. Maybe we should make contact.
Yes.
They did seem like
you're muted, Aaron.
Yeah.
They did seem like ours, right?
Yeah. They
Okay.
You know there are.
Yeah.
Let me know if you want the course changed, right? Now I'm assuming this is pretty much normal and proceeding on the predetermined route.
Proceed. I think just contact.
Just when I said
I will
we
do whatever. Oh,
no, you're fine. Just to be clear, when I said we, I meant the cutter.
cool. Would you
Okay.
like me to change your trajectory?
I provide the information. I don't make the call.
I'm making the call. All for you then, and I'm gonna press whatever pilot button opens the comms channel, and all for whatever we have set for the really horizon.
Yeah, you hail the alien cutter, which is on the other side of the planet at the moment.
Who said
Crack.
they were sitting at comms? Because someone volunteered.
Of course,
Yeah,
Cool.
Crack
Crack
and Corserath are there. Crack will at comms open the comms channel, turn and look at Corserath and say, "Corserath, we're opening comms. Is Avasia around?"
Corserath looks at Crack for a half second and says, "I'll handle this."
Oh, how
And say
novel!
Vazia was
And-
actually probably with Corserath.
Okay. But if Corserath still says, "I'll handle this," Crack goes, "Oh, how novel!" and we'll pass over. I don't know. Hand him the CD headset, whatever we got.
It's a little hologram projector, which pops up
Oh,
with an image of Cassilian sitting there smoking a cigarette going, yeah, Shio, gotcha.
Cassilian, we've arrived and we see that there's been quite a welcome wagon for us.
Yep, turns out those scouts that were on the other side of the planet were Republic, and big fight happened. Like, you guys are really, like, oddly timed. A big fight happened yesterday.
Well, anything that we should be concerned about as far as course corrections?
No, just bring it on in. We're having them. We're diverting rescue operations to the forward hangar. So you guys just come on the midship hangar. We'll
Right.
get these people off their life pods and set on their way back to Republic space.
Right. If we could get some people here to meet us as well as someone probably mentioned we have passengers.
Yeah, no, you guys mentioned that to me. I'm the point of contact that you have had this whole time.
Yes, I just don't know exactly what has been relayed thus far.
Yes,
are very well
Archon Pete and Archon Nibishuza are going to, and the Exarch are going to be there when you dock.
All right.
Uh,
Do you want me to put the data slate together for you?
Yes.
All right. I'll put together a data pad for full report of everything that we've had over the course of the past few days.
You guys are going to go through medical checkups when you get on the ship, just because we've had a few issues lately, and Pete wants to make sure everyone's hunky-dory. So after you get done with that, bring it to me, and also grab me some smokes on the way because I'm running low.
Do I know where there are smokes on the way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have a supply of them.
All right, I'll grab a few as I bring you the data pad. I think everyone's injuries have been tended to, but Archon Pete can easily have his look.
You hear sort of very faintly in the background, ask what medical issues.
what medical issues?
As Corserath is holding the mic.
The
Any information that we should be given regarding Archon Pete's concerns?
Yeah, the Mandalorians that were assaulting the Republic troops here were using some sort of biological tagging weapon, something that they could code a genetic algorithm into a biological weapon. It would target specific genomes. Pete is making sure that nobody that comes aboard the ship has any of those markers in their system.
Right. Good to know.
Hmm.
We're not certain how they're spreading them. We're not certain how they're getting in contact, but anybody that has any contact with Imperial or Mandalorian forces has to get checked. So,
right. Yes, I'll have Crack stay on the ship for a while.
no, that's anyone goes straight to Pete. He can remove them if they're there.
All right. Well, Crack is definitely going directly to Pete, especially considering he's the one who's had a close encounter with a Mandalorian.
Oh, don't worry. You're all going to Pete at one point. So
Yeah.
I'm certain.
We all encountered Imperial forces.
Yes, we did. But Crack is the one who had a direct and close encounter with a Mandalorian.
I almost got her number.
anyways,
So Crack is higher priority as far as the crew goes.
Graz is the one that actually got the shit beat out of him by said Mandalorian.
Is this argument happening?
No, I don't think so.
No, Graz is in their cabin and not involved in this whatsoever.
Okay.
so yeah, don't worry.
Crack-
You'll all
Crack
be
and
seen
Graz will be
to.
high priority.
Don't worry. You'll all be seen to in an orderly fashion. Pete's real good at that.
Mhm.
But yeah. So, dock
All right.
as usual, mid base.
Green light.
Right.
I'll ask
Or-
first.
Are coordinates still accurate?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sending you a landing solution now.
All right. Green light for landing, mid-bay.
Understood.
Is that anything that would require interpretation or translation for Amir Luca or for someone unfamiliar with the cutter, or is it fairly standard?
It's fairly. Not only is it fairly standard, he's forwarding landing coordinates to the ship's computer, so you don't even have to
Okay.
worry about it, because that's
Okay.
why you do that.
Yeah.
So
Also, I assume that docking the ship on a docking place is a thing that we have sensors for.
yes. Oh yes. You bring the ship in. As you bring the ship in, you see that it's much more easy now to see there is as you're coming around the ship to the dark side of the planet, there is almost a line of these rescue ships that are all marked as peacekeeping forces for the Horizon Relief Organization. They all look like sort of repurposed freighters and diplomatic shuttles of a couple of different varieties, but mostly Corellian freighters and what's the other one? Can't think of the name of that maker, but anyways, a particular type of diplomatic freighter that's fairly common, or diplomatic passenger ship that's fairly common.
The exploded kind?
No.
It's Star Wars. That's the only kind you see in the Star Wars universe. The kind that get blown up.
It's the same people that eventually went on to make. It's the same. It's Kuwait Drive. Thank you. That was mine. The Kuwait shipyards, or is it Quat? It's Kuat. It's You're muted, Jack. So I don't know. Quat. Yeah, that one.
Kuwait Drive Yards.
That one.
Kuwait Engineering. KDY.
Quat. They make these particular brand of diplomatic vessels. But yeah, the Shio comes into land. You can see very clearly as the ship is settling in. Those of you that have vision at the moment can see that there is a small waiting party at in the cargo bay for you guys to disembark, consisting of the gray-robed, blue-skinned, red-eyed, very clearly Chiss version of the Exarch, and the white-robed with gas mask on figure that many of you have seen before of Dr. Apit.
Exarch Nibashuza, Arcana Pete.
Along with like a crew of doctors and things and nursing staff.
We're docked at this point.
Yeah, ship lands, docks. You can hear the signal for the landing clamps going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go help with the people who we currently have with the refugees.
Let's get this handled. As Corserath has been from the time that he finished that call to now has been compiling a data pad of all of the information from the past mission.
Yeah.
I'm gonna swing by Graz's room and make sure that they know. Just basically bring Graz up to speed on everything that we just found out. And if Graz is still unresponsive, Crack will still say it and then leave.
No, Graz is actually up and getting their kit together. Nods. Very well. I will follow shortly.
Was anybody else not up there? I think everybody else
so.
was, but
yeah,
okay.
Everyone was pretty much present except for Graz. So, you get off the ship. Red, you're the only one that this is an unfamiliar feeling for. As you get off the ship, you sense the presence of, in addition to other Force users, you sense a calming presence, and it's weird. From your experience, Jedi have this like almost overbearing sense of calm around them, where it's like it's like they're trying to smother a fire with a blanket, kind of calm, kind of deal, where it's like it's there and it's on you and you can almost feel it. This is much more an underlying sense of calm radiating out of this individual, where it's less of a suppression of anxiety and more a reinforcement of the idea that there is no need for anxiety. It's a very different approach to the traditional calming aura that Jedi have, and it's unique. It's strange. You never really felt anything like this before. Next to that, there is this feeling of almost machine-like precision as a figure that you can't see because you don't have your power currently activated. Just sort of analyzing everybody that they come off, and there's a sense of calculations and analysis occurring next to the center of this column. Yes, the Jedi use weaponized repression, Jack. That is exactly the thing that I was aiming for. But the doctors and medical staff around them very quickly begin helping you guys funnel the refugees that you've brought with you into the ship, and through the medical screening process. And as they sort of take over the job, Nibishuza, with a Pete next to him, steps up towards you, and you all get the sense that you should gather around. There's never a clear order or a clear signal, but you all of you sort of almost in unison stop whatever it is you're doing and move towards the figures that are approaching.
So it's up to you, obviously. But I feel like Red's first instinct would be to go with the other group.
Yeah. And as you begin walking away, as you begin following after them, there is not a stopping force, but there is just a touch on your shoulder and another hand like sort of reaching towards your forearm. And this is a feeling of, you know what this is. This is somebody that is using your shoulder to figure out where your wrist is because they can't see you.
Yeah.
As they click, click. You're familiar with this particular hand session.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll flick my vision on. I'll flick on Foresight for the moment.
As you do, you see this figure that is wearing all white robes with a bandolier and a shoulder pad with the designation of the Horizon Relief Organization on it, and a gas mask that has blacked out glasses and these, fairly compact filtration system on it. So you would be our captive Jedi, wouldn't you? He doesn't seem to be looking at you. He just seems to be sort of feeling for your forearm and wrist and your pulse.
Yes. Technically not a Jedi, but...
Well, we are whatever we feel the need to label ourselves, he says as he turns your wrist over, puts that hand that's on your shoulder up to the side of your head, and just runs his thumb just across your forehead. You have seen much suffering in the past little while, haven't you?
No shit, yeah.
And sort of, he finally the face that hasn't really been looking at you turns, and you get a sense of something clicking on as this Miraluka also turns on their foresight, because Apit is a Miraluka, and looks at you through the Force, and as you look back at him through the Force, a lot of anger there, but it's understandable. Come, let's get you examined while our Exarch does his rounds with the crew.
Okay.
And he will, again, not actually applying any force to you, but providing a guiding, sort of a guiding direction, will lead you off towards the medical bay.
I don't resist or anything. I'm going wherever they ask.
The rest of you circle around the Exarch, who looks at you. Well, this has been a trying circumstance, hasn't it? But you prevailed. And sort of, you can see, even though his Chiss eyes don't have pupils, they're just solid red. With very few exceptions, they're just solid red. And but you can still tell that he is sweeping his gaze across you. It feels as though you have all learned something and also lost something. The loss is understandable and to be expected, but I trust that if there were any lessons to be found, you have all found them. Or at least are beginning to. He waits for a beat to see if there's any responses. You're all tired. Rest here for the moment. Recover. Once Apit has seen to our guests, he will take you all in turn. You may release the great burden that you are all bearing in your shoulders. You are safe. And
Which
again,
area?
there's that. Craig, you talk.
No, I just wanted to double check. Are we sort of in an airlock area, or are we all the way into the cutter at this point?
You are in the cutter, but you're in the docking bay.
Okay.
You're
Sorry.
outside. You're outside the Shio in the docking bay of the cutter.
Didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to make sure I was picturing the right place.
No, you're fine. That underlying sense of reinforcement builds a little bit around you as you all feel invigorated very slightly. There's just a bit more energy, kind of that feeling of when you wake up first thing in the morning and you're exhausted and you get a little bit of whatever it is that helps you start your day. You get a little bit of that.
Nerys is going to sit-ish, just relax and wait, because that's what we are going to do.
And we are going to cut over to Red. So, you are taken into a medical facility. There's a scanning bed that you are asked to sit on. You don't have to lay down.
Yeah.
And Pete pulls out a scanner and begins running it very slowly over your form, noting things. And then after that, he begins to apply pressure to specific points on your body. Back of the neck, top of the head, shoulder blades, spine. And as he does, you feel stress and tension, just almost like he's basically unlocking the tension in your muscles. And your muscles begin to relax forcibly as he seems to be doing something both with his hands and with the force. So, this will take a few moments. How are you feeling at the moment?
Well, indifferent, I guess. Detached.
Indifferent regarding your surroundings and those you find, or indifferent regarding yourself?
Both, I guess.
Feeling of listlessness?
Sure, we can call it that.
Do you have any ideas for what you would like to do next?
Let's see. I got out the people that were with me. I piloted the ship without a pilot here. I don't know. I like planes. I'd like to keep flying them. While I don't have much motivation to go and do it personally, I certainly might take a celebratory drink if the Republic decided to burn down Coruscant tomorrow.
There's a very light chuckle. So, aimless at the moment.
I was told to expect a pitch.
Well, unfortunately, I have no pitches for you. I'm simply trying to gauge the mental state of my patients.
Sure.
He finishes whatever it is he's doing, and you feel there was something almost oily that you couldn't identify. You didn't really even know it was there. But now you notice the absence of it in your system.
Well, that's pretty expected.
And you look over, and he's holding a vial that is full of a dark liquid that you don't remember him drawing from anywhere, as he caps it and puts it into a thing off to one side and closes the drawer. Well, I've removed some of the ancillary effects of your, what I can only assume, long-term forced drug infusions. You should be feeling much better.
Mm-hmm.
And while you may develop some craving of stimulus in a physical neurological sense, I would recommend something a little light. Alcohol, death sticks, something like that.
Light, death sticks. Yeah.
Cigarettes are much better than
I
the things
mean-
Red was on.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
I was gonna say, death sticks, even Star Wars death sticks, compared to direct infusions of spice.
Yes. It's a hilarious situation when Star Wars is literal poison that you smoke. Like, they're not just cigarettes, they're literally poison sticks that you smoke.
Yes.
Is the light option.
Yeah, I think that's pretty telling.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But you are free to roam the ship as you see fit. You are not a prisoner, you are a guest. If you have any questions, feel free to ask anyone you find. If they don't have the answers, they will be glad to point you in the direction of those who do.
Got some bunks or something?
Absolutely. And he will give you directions to the guest quarters.
On the off chance any of them ask, I don't mind them knowing where to find me.
Certainly. And if you ever need to talk about anything, feel free to just reach out and ask.
Red will sort of pause at the door. If you've got a psychological staff, you should probably do one of those checkups for that group as well, but especially the Wookiee.
I'll bear that in mind. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck off to whatever beds they've got for guests.
Yeah, you head off to the guest quarters, as indicated. They're very comfortable. They're slightly more comfortable than the personal quarters are, just because the personal quarters are designed to be customized, and these are designed for, you need to rest. Here, have a restful place.
But at the same time, I literally haven't slept in a bed in maybe 3 years, 3 years, so...
This is extravagant for you at the moment.
And very weird.
Yeah. Track is the next person brought in to the medical bay as a doctor comes back to the docking bay and brings you back with him. You are once more brought into this medical bay, the same one that Red was in, sat on a medical chair on a bed, basically a scanning bed, and the familiar visage of Arcana Pete is there.
Yeah, I was gonna say we haven't specifically discussed it, but I have an impression that Crack is probably not a stranger to the Aeon Cutter's medical bay.
No, you've never been ministered to directly by a Pete though.
Okay.
Because he is mostly in charge of the day-to-day medical operations of the Horizon Relief Organization, and he doesn't spend too much time doing the care of the knights of the order.
Sure.
But in this particular case, his speciality is required.
Sure. Archon?
Crack Topa.
Thank you for your assistance. On the table or...
Just sit here
Where
and
do you want-
relax.
Very good. Crack will follow instructions.
And very much the same, he works his way up your arm and takes your pulse, does some sort of scanning of your forehead with his thumb, and then begins to press certain areas of your physiology that release tension from your form. Different locations than they are in humanoids, because while you are a humanoid, you are a Quarren and have vastly different physiology. But as this is going on, so how are you feeling?
I don't know.
I sense grief.
You know we lost Katahab.
I know that Kitty has returned to the Force.
I think I know that too now.
He sort of reaches over with a hand, and a data pad floats up and sort of flies over to his hand at a very lazy pace. And he sort of grabs it. And you don't hear him say this, but you just get this impression of, "Thank you, Kitty," from Apit. As if to illustrate something. And he takes it, looks at it.
Craig nods, like, okay, I get it.
You sense a smile behind the mask. So. And he seems to be waiting for you to say something.
The notes that Crack got from Graz,
Mm-hmm.
from Kitty's notebook. This might be more of a question directly for Aaron, who's
Yeah.
The notes that Crack got from Graz, are they alchemical chiefly in nature? Are they biological? How would you most generally categorize the field of science in which that Kitty's project was?
I'm sorry if this is unhelpful, but I think most broadly I would say it's force alchemy, which is, according to one of the splat books, the splat book that I was using for this, which I think is Unlimited Power, is a thing any force user can attempt that allows the creation of potions and talismans.
That's totally helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Kitty's take on it and the versions of ingredients and ways Kitty would refer to ingredients are probably like, if you think of an herbalist or a shaman writing a prescription as opposed to like a medical doctor writing a prescription, it probably skews more that way. But like the discipline is force alchemy.
So probably nothing in there, at least on first blush, would be the reason I'm asking is I'm just trying to figure out, is there anything that Crack would ask this Archon for help? It sounds like probably it would be more directed at the Dathomirian Archon.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the disciplines of each Archon, and potions are definitely not outside of a possible specialty for them, but that'd be a question for John.
Okay. Yeah, John, is that...
You're not, you haven't studied underneath them enough to know what their specialties are.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Right now, what you know about Apit is that he's the head of the medical aspect of the Relief Organization, and he's very good with his hands, because all the physical tension in your body is just going away.
Okay. I'd like to schedule another appointment for next week. Also, do you know anything about force alchemy, Archon?
I know some small aspects of it.
And I'm going to have to abstract this a little bit just because of my own lack of personal knowledge, and also because I don't have, we don't have physical notes to go over. Crack asks a very specific question about some aspect of alchemy from the notes that he hasn't been able to, kind of find an endpoint to.
What was the recipe again that was given to you?
So, my understanding is that Graz took the recipe for the tracker and cut out the parts that were about the force room.
Yeah, it's literally just the very basic, least force related aspects of the tracker project.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks for a second. It feels like this project of yours is missing some key components. I wouldn't be able to say what exactly, but what you're asking me for is incomplete.
That in and of itself is helpful to know. Where would you suggest I look next to find something that would help me, something or someone that would help me learn how to complete it?
Well, we have at least one person aboard the ship at the moment who specializes in alchemical processes. I would suggest seeking out Raz Shayla and seeing what she might provide insight on.
Thank you, Archon.
As he finishes, you feel this oily undercurrent to your physiology that you hadn't been able to identify previously, but now can distinctly note the lack thereof remove itself from your body.
What was
Let-
that?
It would be the after effects of certain markers on your genetic structure. As he pulls a vial away from you, and this again, it's this vial filled with black liquid that he caps and puts away.
How would that have been passed to us? Is it
We're not certain.
injected? Or...
We're not certain yet. I can only tell you how I'm removing it. I cannot tell you how it was applied initially.
That seems like it might be something useful for us to know. How does one go about removing it?
Well, that is a particular talent of mine, utilizing the Force, where I encourage your body to remove that which is unhealthy for it.
He's operating under the assumption that we may encounter it again. Is there anything that we should have with us in the field to help counteract its effects, or even better, prevent it from being passed to us?
I'm not certain yet, but I will know soon, once I've finished tending to the rest of the crew.
Very well. If I can be of any assistance with your examination of it, please let me know.
I will be certain to let you know. Now,
Thank you, Arkham.
it's not a problem. What do you want to do next, Crack?
I would like to return to my chambers and immerse myself for several hours in properly salinated liquid.
I was thinking more in the grand scheme of things, but I do understand.
Ah. Well, in the same location, I'd like to continue my study and work on the project that I mentioned. And then once that is completed, I will turn to the armors and weapons that we have obtained, and make certain that they are operating at the best efficiency to make certain that none of us is lost again.
That is a sound goal. And he pats you on the shoulder. You may go now.
Thank you, Archon.
You're quite welcome.
Come on, boys! And Crack will hurry out with the Crabots scuttling after him and run and do a cannonball into his submersed lab, if he can
Cool.
get back to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Corserath is next. As Corserath is led away from the rest of the group and brought to the chambers. Very much the same thing occurs as he sets you down and begins working his way up your arm and then across certain pressure points in your body as tension just releases. Tell me, Corserath, how are you feeling?
Frustrated.
At the events that occurred or at your inability to alter them?
Both.
It's understandable. How would you have changed things if you could?
I don't know, and that is the source of the frustration. I don't know what I could have done better.
No. If you don't know what you could have done better, is it possible you could not have done better?
It is, but that's not satisfactory to me.
I understand. To seek perfection and to better ourselves is not an ignoble goal. I would suggest, perhaps, finding your limits first, and then seeking to better them. As he goes across your back, and you feel the tension removing. It doesn't seem that you were marked, so I think we can assume. You said that Kraktulpa and Groztatha are the only two of your crew that interacted with Mandalorians.
Yes, they had a particular encounter with a Mandalorian in a tavern. Specifically, I should note, what's the name of the Archon?
Did Groz give you that information?
Nope, Graz has not said anything
Yeah,
about the name.
You don't know. You don't know who
All
the
right, never
person
mind.
Mandalorian
I
is.
don't
Just
know.
that.
I know someone else has been informed of that. I don't know who it is. But yes, they had an interaction with the Mandalorian in one of the taverns on the space station above the planet.
It's very likely they're using some sort of genetic marking technology then, at the behest of the Empire potentially. But it's good to know that potentially I shouldn't find this in anyone else. He looks at you. He sort of looks you in the eye. Well, looks you in the eye. You're looking into a mask. What do you want to do next, Korsarath?
I am still not completely free of my mother's influence. I need to solve that before I can do anything else.
It sounds to me that you know which limits you need to find first.
That's a long task coming.
If you need any help, I'm certain there are those around you who are willing to lend their aid.
Is there anything else?
Not from me. You're free to go.
He goes.
Avassia's next. Sits you down, works his way up your arm, then begins to release tension in your muscles. How are you feeling?
How do you think?
I don't know. I'm not in your head.
Feeling great. Kitty died. I've been having flashbacks for the past 4 days about the death of my sister and the attack on my planet.
He continues to operate. Have you talked to anybody about them?
Not really.
I understand it's hard. Reliving past trauma and trying to make it all make sense with the current. Many of us have such experiences. It's all right to feel helpless and frustrated. Was there anything you could have done?
In what situation?
Either.
I don't know.
You and your significant other are very alike, you know. It says as he
I'm aware.
pushes into one of your shoulder blades. And you feel again that tension just drop. Perhaps you could help him find his limits. And he could help you deal yours.
Perhaps.
You are free to do as you wish. You are your own being. I would suggest, though, that you talk to him. It feels like he needs someone to talk to. about something other than what the group's next plan is.
Okay.
You're free to go. As he pulls away from you.
She'll go off to find Corsair.
Nereis, you're next. As you are pulled
Right.
into the medical bay. And the medical bay chair has been sort of slid aside, and there's just a Pete with a toolkit. You've never seen him with a toolkit before. Come, Nereis. Let's have an examination, shall we? I already know your secrets. Do not worry about me finding anything new. Whatever you
You're
just
muted,
said didn't
Mara.
come through. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted myself. I did
think
not realize
I think
that.
you
Yeah.
unmuted yourself and then muted yourself right back.
Shoot. Okay. I'm doing good.
He begins
right.
to work on your joints and
Mm-hmm.
specific bits of armor plating with this toolkit. Again, you've never seen him use before.
Mhm.
Oh, Nereis, tell me, how are you feeling?
This is also new.
Someone asking you how you're feeling, or someone working on your chassis?
Many things. Well, fine. There is the new edition. Getting used to the lightsaber. That has been interesting. We had a loss, but also an addition. I hope that goes well. I talked to Z. I am not sure how that will proceed, but am hopeful. Yeah, that covers that bit. Some conflict, but that is complicated. Yes. That is where I am.
It's very interesting. You are at the same time one of the most open people I've ever talked to, and yet very specifically and carefully closed off.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about that?
No.
Very well. I understand trying to process things on your own. It's important.
Yes.
However, if you do require an ear from time to time, there are many around who are willing to listen.
Yes.
There's a cling, and suddenly your arm feels much more mobile than it was previously.
Oh, I don't know what you just did, but please show me.
There was a bit of rust and junk in the mobile joint here. I simply cleaned it out
Ah,
and had to reset it.
right.
Similarly, he works on the other arm, and it's moving much smoother. You hadn't noticed that there was a hitch in your shoulder movement previously, but now that it's not there anymore, you notice that it was.
Yep.
There.
That is marvelous.
You are good to go.
Thank you.
He lets you leave. Ilyana is next.
Does it have to be?
Ilyana is next. Whether or not we go over that doesn't matter.
Okay. I mean, I definitely want to, but
I understand. Yes. Busy. We will circle back to Ilyana's bit at some point.
cool.
As Graz is the last one to come up. There's a much larger medical bay for Graz, with a much larger scanner bed for Graz. Graz, who is laid all the way down in it rather than just sitting there. As he, I never tire of examining Wookiees. You are a marvelous species and a marvelous people. As he begins to go up your arm, which takes him a lot longer than it did for everybody else.
I got a lot more arm.
A lot more arm. And you too begin to feel these pressure points hit, and your muscles relax. How are you, young Grosstotha?
Where is Zook?
He is currently dealing with our new influx of passengers, and also, it seems, preparing a journey.
Perceptive.
He always has been one.
I am learning.
From what I hear, learning a great deal.
It is a new thing to be alone.
Alone in what sense?
The Force, I have learned, pervades all things. We are all bound through the energy that permeates the galaxy. There are people that I know. There are other members of my species, of my planet. And though even some of those that I have recently traveled with would disagree, they are none of them my family.
Family is a tricky thing. I can see your point, though. Though I have biological relatives, few of them would I count as family.
It will take time to learn how to properly be alone.
But I have faith that you will. And I trust, when you learn that lesson, you might reevaluate what it means to be alone in the first place.
I would not be at all surprised.
Now, you had a fight. And he says, as you begin to feel something sucking out of your essence, and you feel this oily film that you previously hadn't noticed, but now that it is being removed, can't help but to notice. Removing
Things a little
itself
bit.
from your body.
Yeah. Several, but I think the one you're talking about happened in a bar.
That's what I gather. What can you tell me about that?
Well, Her name was Guinaria Artinos.
There's no reaction, but you sense an eyebrow raise.
And she punched me with a cortosis gauntlet.
Strong enough to punch out a Wookiee.
I was surprised as well.
Her mother will be equal parts proud and angry. And again, her mother is always equal parts proud and angry.
Well, she did ask that Exarch Artinos was given her greetings, so I'm certain that is probably her intent also.
Crusader Artinos.
Crusader
Exarch.
Artinos. That's right.
There's only one Exarch.
That's right. But her vessel is called the Queen Harlot. And we encountered it near Zugan, Marashani Station, to be precise.
I trust you'll pass this information along.
Indeed.
Well then, I have an idea as to what you're going to be doing next, so I won't pry.
Nod.
I would suggest that you make sure any messages you need to leave are left properly.
They have been.
You are free to go.
Thank you. And Graz is going to go find Zook.
Are you good, Jeremy, or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, circling back to Ilyana.
Yep.
You're brought
Hi.
in. Hello, Ilyana. He begins. He takes your arm
Yep.
and feels for the pulse, and then works his way up the arm and begins pressing on certain muscle groups, and you feel your body tension leave itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious as to your answer when I ask, but how are you doing?
I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be?
There's no reason.
See, that's why these are so easy. I don't know why everybody always complains.
It's true. For many, speaking their mind is a difficult task. For you, it seems to be very easy. Perhaps it's because you've seen that you will speak your mind regardless.
It's probably, yeah. But no, I'm good. I got all my being angry out before.
It is a rare talent. Sorry, I have a growth. Some of
Yes,
you
you
may have
do.
noticed.
Yeah.
He presses in to your
Mhm.
back, pauses for a moment. Good. Then our assumptions are correct. Ilyana,
Yep.
what do your visions say are coming next?
Well, I'm assuming this hasn't happened yet from what I've seen. There's actually hold on. Jeremy is doing time math in head. Actually, never mind. Jeremy is just going to cheat and ask God. Based on I legitimately don't remember when I did that site. Should that stuff have already happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the fight that was 2 days in advance was yesterday, so
Okay. Yeah. So she goes, huh. Yeah. Has there been anything that stopped by the ship recently?
Your crew, the refugees you've brought.
No,
who-
nothing like that. Like bad. Bad.
Depends on your definition.
Well, maybe not bad, but dark. Like besides the usual dark.
He looks over at the dark vials that are sitting in a container off to one side. Could you be a little bit more specific?
I don't know. All I know, saw darkness coming.
Coming or directed?
I mean, it's always vague. Like not vague, but I don't know. It was coming. That doesn't mean it's not here now. Like it's not always sequential.
Looks over at the. These are genetic markers,
For
genomes for a biological weapon. They are.
Okay, weapon. Got
Think
it.
of it as a targeting computer, but for biology.
Okay.
Hearing your warning, I am suddenly wondering if perhaps they can be targeted by things other than weapon.
They trigger when you speak a certain language.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say yes. Yes, they definitely can be.
I will need to speak with the Exarch on this.
Okay. Also, this guy, I hold up because I did some drawings of the people.
Looks at it. This is a member of the Dark Council.
Oh, that's good.
Darth
That
Fluxatum.
actually makes a lot of sense.
You've captured his likeness very well. You are a talented artist.
Thank you.
This would certainly fall under his purview, though. Biological weapon, just created by a Sith, distributed to Mandalorians for infection, providing a excuse as to why it's not an act of war on the behalf of the Sith Empire, and also potentially tracking him to his target.
Which are here.
We may need to get your brethren prepared very shortly.
Yep.
You're free to go.
Okay. Toddle off.
Graz. You find
Yep.
Zook. Zook has several things packed, and as you walk into the room, a bag is tossed towards you.
Catch. We leave soon then.
In the hour.
I am prepared.
I sense if we stay much longer, we will be caught up in something that we will not be able to turn away from.
Got that right.
And while
There's
it
a
is
pause.
and while
I was
that
gonna
is
say.
important, this is important too.
I feel that destiny is better served by our departure than what little we may be able to contribute by participating.
I have a task for you, Groztatha, before we leave.
Yes.
He opens up a small box on a counter, and inside it there are several totems. These are Wookiee totems. These are they are carvings of wood bound together with leaf and vine. Leave these with your crew, and then join me in the docking bay. I don't care how you leave it with them, but leave them with them.
Very well. And Graz is going to try and go ninja.
You can give me... Let me pull up a character sheet.
Pretty sure stealth is just a roll you can make.
Yeah.
You can give me a stealth check.
Okay.
Difficulty 2.
All right.
Everyone else can give me a vigilance check. Difficulty 2.
I'm using a light side. And it's the last one, so y'all are fucked.
Unless John says we can have the dark side ones. This is a question for Jack. Would red be included in that?
I can't roll vigilance. What are you talking about?
Oh, wait. Oh, that's not the right dice pool. I mean, if red wants to try and spot if red cares.
Yeah. Okay.
There we
Fair
go.
enough.
I would like to ask a question, a clarification on a talent I have.
Sure.
The talent is called Sense Advantage. Once per session, you can add 2 setback die to one NPC skill check. Technically, Jack is not an NPC. That said,
Jack's not an NPC.
I'm not an NPC. Deal with it. Ha!
I mean, if you're leaving the party,
I feel like it should really be
I haven't left the party
adversaries.
yet.
Fine.
Success, 2 threats.
Hold on. Frequency is...
I'm still in the lead by 1 success. I love that this is what my pettiness has brought us to.
Seek doesn't help yet. Alright, vigilance, diff 2.
I had a fun thing.
What the actual fuck?
Holy shit.
You rolled
a lot
6
of advantages
advantages.
that probably do something.
So,
Maybe Ilyana gets to be
anybody
the first
not
one
rolled
to
yet?
find.
Because I would like to add a lot of boost dice to one per... Tell me someone has not yet rolled.
Red,
Unfortunately,
Graz, Avasia, Crack, Corsarath, near. Yeah, no, everyone's rolled.
Yes. I am the knight.
I'm going to be arguing with you on that sense advantage thing.
That's fine. The Ilyana, Red, and Nere's notice first
Okay.
because of everyone for their successes, Ilyana for the advantages, that a small totem has been left in your belongings when you get to your after a little while of you having gotten to your room.
Hmm.
I'm assuming I can recognize this as something Wookiee made.
Yes.
I need to make a roll real quick.
Sure.
I would like to find a dum-dum droid.
Easily done.
Okay. Red's
Where have the
gonna
Wookiees
try and
gone?
head
Yeah,
to...
sorry, go.
They said I could wander around. Whatever hangar bay I anticipate someone might be leaving through if they were trying not to get into a confrontation with the people they're ditching.
Sure. Nere's, the dum-dum droids indicate one of the hangars.
I head that way. As quickly as I can. Yeah.
Ilyana, are you doing anything with the totem you found?
That depends on what totem is very vague.
It's a small it's a small totem that looks to have been crafted by a Wookiee.
Can we clarify?
It's like a. It
What's
is
the
a.
intention of
It
it?
is. It is.
There are about
a,
9 gajillion different forms that a totem can take.
It is
so
a carved wood figure that is bound together by vines and leaves. That seems to be some sort of symbol. It's not
Okay.
like a figure; it's a symbol.
Okay, fair. Yes, she takes it and she puts it on her shelf and she goes on about her day because clearly this is going to happen.
Alright.
Duh.
Red, go ahead and make a force roll.
In fact, specifically, she looks at it, she puts it on the shelves like, didn't even need force to see this one coming.
Yeah, fair enough. One.
I used ears, motherfucker.
I don't know why there was still a difficulty in there, but 2 light side, and I'm still technically a light side user, so I get to use both of. Well, let's see. What does this power exactly let me do with it? Yeah. So planning on targeting that at Graz, if I do manage to catch him.
I misunderstood the power you were trying to use. What's the name of it?
It's the one that turns me invisible from one person's perspective.
Oh,
It's called
okay.
Mirror.
Got it.
I will put the full text of it in chat because it's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
No, I have 2
Mysteries.
powers. I can see things and I can turn invisible.
So, Nereus and Red, the two of you get to the hangar bay at roughly the same time.
Okay.
Just in time to see a freighter leaving.
Fair enough.
Still within comm range or not?
I mean, comlink range?
Yeah, comm link.
Probably not. Once it passes the shield, comlinks get disrupted by the shields of the ship.
Okay.
They're just not strong enough to get through the shield. Ship comms, they're definitely still in range, but like a comlink, it wouldn't make it.
Well, given that, I'll direct it at Nereus.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't see you.
Yeah.
That's fine. Nereus stands there and looks after the ship, not saying anything. You can see them trying to like press buttons. It's not working. It just you get static, so it's not working.
Off in the distance, you see the tail end of this freighter paw hang in the air for just a second as space around it begins to warp as it blinks out into hyperspace. And as this freighter jets off, that's where we're going to end for this week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.